Okay, so you want to grab these two pieces here. They actually go like that. You want to grab your Allen key, just loosen these guys off so that they fall down. As you can see, the bottom plate here goes on top of the CNC, and the bearing is just in there. You want to make sure these are nice and flush against there. Tighten these up. It's very important to get these perfectly flush here. I've heard of some people complaining about gaps and stuff, but they look pretty much fine. That's the first side. You want to repeat for the second side. Make sure to keep it nice and flush, nice and square. There you have it. That's the Y-axis fully assembled with the Z uprights. Okay, next part we've got here is the X-axis assembly. Parts will need the CNC B3 and 4. You've got B3 packets and B4 packets. Can't really see much from the pictures, but I'll do my best to explain. So on the side here you've got the recessed parts with the screws. That'll be the inside of your X-axis. Okay, so we've got the CNC B3 and the B3 nuts and bolts. So you take the CNC B3, brush them through that side with the recess on the back side. Putting the screw through. Brass shim, wheel, and nylock nut. Same with the other one. So, centric nut, screw through it, brass shim, nylock nut. Just a spacer for these ones, wheel, and nylock nut. So put these nylock washers on backwards, with the nylon going on first. They sit better up against the bearings and let the bearings still turn. So the bearing can still turn. Loosen it off a bit. The same for all of them. And there you have it, guys. That's the wheels that's installed. You've got the eccentric nut, brass shim, wheel, lilac nut, spacer, brass shim, wheel, and nylock nut. These should all spin nice and freely with barely any play. Okay, so here's your finished wheels. They should all spin freely, but also these screws mustn't have any play in them. Okay, and then we move on to the back side. You want to grab the, I think they are M520s, so there should be 2 of them. They're the medium sized ones. You want the brass spacers, the plastic POM or Delrin block, the standard normal nuts, and that should be it. So what you want to do is you want to put the 2 screws through, hold them both there, you flip it over, put the 2 brass spacers on. This side here, there's one with the hexagon nut holders on the back. That needs to go facing up. And then you've got, you want to flip it over again. Tighten these up. Okay, now you should have it looking like that. Wheels spin freely. Your block should be pretty much perfectly aligned. There were some issues with the first batch that came out, which was made of brass, but they seem to have fixed that. Anyway, so that's one of them. What you want to do is do the same with the other. And then we'll move on to installing the X-axis. You want to get this guy, get into shot, and you want to set your wheels so that, if you can see, I don't know if you can see that, that the wheel is the most inward it can be. So the distance between the wheels needs to be the smallest. And so you just turn the eccentric nuts so that they face inwards. And then you want to, towards the back of the printer, that's where you want the eccentric nut to face. So then you just slide it in. Okay, now that's a bit loose. So what you want to do is you want to just slightly make these wheels a little bit further away. It's even looser. Top one's too. So you want it to be just to fit in just with enough pressure to create friction on the wheels so that they turn. That top one's still. Takes a bit of fiddling around, but once you get it right, there we go. So you want it to be fairly easy to move up and down. Now what some people complain about is these screws here, if you can see that, some people get them where they scratch along the inside of the rail there. That could be an issue based on if you flip these nylock nuts the other way around, put them on the way they're designed to go on, and use a brass shim. It pushes too far that way. So by not using that shim, you can just put the nylock nut on the other way around, so with the nylon facing inwards, and it should fit perfectly. Just like that. And you do that to both sides. So we'll go to this side here, and you can see, same thing. We'll just adjust this one. There you go. You want them to move with about the same even amount of pressure, give or take. But you definitely shouldn't have any scraping. It's pretty, I mean, they're pretty close, but they definitely don't scrape. Okay, so now you've got both your X-axis plates removed from the uprights. You've got your two 20/40 sections. So in bags B4 and B3 there should be 4 M5 15s, which are these guys here. Okay, so you want to on the wheel side put the screw through, just like that. Put all 4 through. Sometimes the wheels can get in the way. Just get the thing and screw it in. Should help you get it past the wheels. Just like that. And you should see they come out, stick out that side there. And then we're going to try it without the shims first. Because to be honest, I don't see why you'd need shims there. So you just screw into your 20/40. Make sure you line up the holes. It's a really good thing about having the pre-tapped extrusions. They're a big help. Okay, so that's the first one. So there you go, that's the first part of your X-axis. Now the second part, you want to take the screws out of one side. We'll go with this one first. Okay, then you want to line the holes up. Screw each screw in a little bit just to get them placed. And you want to slot it in, so it basically looks like that. And then you want to screw these ones in. And there we go. That's your X-axis assembly. Okay, so you've got your X-axis assembly. Doesn't matter which way it goes on, it's pretty symmetrical. So you grab the one side, slide in the bottom wheels, do the same on the other side. Just get that there. And you want to just, there we go. So here we've got the threaded rods. They should should just thread straight through that plastic block, like that. Okay, so as you're screwing down this threaded rod, before it gets down to where the ball bearing is there, if you can see that, you want to get in the B5 bag. It's got these lock collars. If I can show you there. So you see, just put the grub screw in there. Okay, so before I put this lock collar onto this lead screw, I'll just show you how far it has to go on. Probably needs to go about that far. There. It's about 8 millimeters or so. So you want to put it onto this one here, like that. Grab your Allen key. And then just tighten it just so it's about between 8 and probably 8 millimeters from the end, and then screw it all the way back down towards the bearing that you can see in there. Just get it to focus. There we go. And then they should line up pretty good. This is one of the biggest problems we had with the first batch. There we go. That seems to line up perfectly. Okay, now we'll do the same with the other side. And there we have both lead screws. You should be able to twist them fairly easily. And okay guys, next up we're going to finish up the top plate, or top axis. We'll start with first thing that's got to go on are these G2 pulleys. They are located in B5 bag as well. Just want to loosen these grub screws a bit. It shows you want to put them on that way there. Let's just put them about there for now. Okay, next thing you want to do is a lock collar. Same thing again. You want to get your grub screw. You want to put the grub screw in. And that should slide down. Some of these are a bit temperamental. There we go. Just a bit of brute force. Slides up and down nicely now. Okay, so that guy you can leave as it is, and then a ball bearing and then one of the bearings. Puts that straight on. You want to do the same with the other side, and then we'll put the top plate on. Okay guys, just going to add in a little snippet here of this Z belt here. Now in the assembly manual, when you assemble in the Z axis, it doesn't actually tell you to put it on. So I'm just going to say that it's a lot easier if you put it on while the top plate is off. So I'm going to insert this into the video in the right place so you won't have to unassemble everything like I just did. So yeah, you're going to want to thread the Z thing around the Z belt loop. It's a big loop that around the lead screws before you put the top crossbar on, and the same thing on the other side here. You see it's just around the lead screw there. So when you come to install the Z-axis motors, that's already in place, and you don't have to disassemble the whole top frame. Okay guys, so we're going to take these angled brackets that we took off before we put this X-axis on, slide them in here, the right way, Same on the other side. Take our top X plate, top plate, and I'm going to put it line these up like that. Same on the other side. We should have it pretty much spot on. Okay. We'll leave that guy sitting on top of the X plate for now. In bag B5, what you should have left is 2 tiny grub screws. No idea what they're for. Seems like leftovers, I guess. With these CNC blocks. I'm chucking on top there. 4 screws in each, 1 on each side. Okay, so you're going to loosen that guy. Missed the grub screw in this guy. So put him in there. This bearing should slide fairly easily, and we're going to try to slot them up into this recess here, just so that it's nice and flush. Push the lock collar all the way up. Push the lock collar all the way up so it sits nice and flush with the bearing. Looks good. And this guy will adjust when we get to the Z-axis belts. Okay, so now I've got both top red CNC plates installed with the bearings screwed down and in place. Make sure these guys aren't in the way. So just these gear pulleys, just loosen them so that they kind of slip down out of the way. And slide it up till it's flush with the top red here. And then you want to tighten up the grub screws inside these angle brackets. Do the bottom first, and then the top ones here. Do that on the other side as well, and that's pretty much the frame assembled.